The chairman of the Nigerian Senate Committee on Entertainment Economy, Senator Elisha Abo, has visited the families of the late musician Ilerioluwa Aloba, who died on the 12th of September 2023. The senator was accompanied by Nollywood stars Tonto Dike and Iyabo Ojo, who have also been seeking justice over the controversy surrounding the death of the 27-year-old street pop artist through their various social media platforms. Now, News Central's Adeshewa Odushoka reports.
Anger, agony, and a cry for justice. All those emotions could be seen running through this grieving mother of the late musician Ilerioluwa Aloba, popularly known by his stage name, Mohbad.
Yes, Naira Marley, I know. He told me I go there. He told me, oh, Promise told me everything. Promise told me, oh, Naira look for mommy, Shanu me help me.
Amidst tears, she's calling for justice. Here in Lekki, the residence of Mohbad's mother, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Entertainment Economy, Senator Elisha Abo, assures the family that justice would be served.
The government of Nigeria will do everything with its own power to see that this matter is investigated thoroughly. And if anybody's hand is found in his death, the person will be brought to justice. It has taken another different dimension now. It is like the campaign for Black Lives Matter, because if you see today, celebrities in England, celebrities in the UK, they started posting all over justice for Mohbad. And I want them to really understand that government is also interested in this case, and nobody is hiding anything. There's nobody that's above the law. Nobody is above the law.
In company of the senator are Nollywood stars Tonto Dike and Iyabo Ojo, who have also promised their individual support for the families of the deceased.
Your son has become an enigma amongst all of us that we love so much. We love him. We're going to stand by you. We're going to stand by his wife and stand by his son. We're going to give Mohbad's son a scholarship from immediately he wants to start school until he finishes secondary school, ma.
We're going to help the police by giving them every information that we have that can help Mohbad's case get justice.
There has been a nationwide call for justice by the fans of the rap artist following the mystery surrounding his death. As part of the investigations by the Lagos State Police Command, a couple of arrests have been made and body of the late musician have been exhumed for autopsy. Mohbad became a force in the Nigerian music industry with hits such as Kopoke and Feel Good, with his former record label company Malian Records, which he left in 2022. Adeshewa Odushoka, reporting for News Central.
And there we have it. We have Iyabo Ojo, Tonto Dike, and Senator Elisha Abo, who have visited the family, the mother in particular, of late Mohbad. I like the way that the energy that we're getting from this, the celebrities who are sort of lending their voices to this campaign. And it's very interesting that a lot of this is happening. There's also been some speculations about who gave who 15 million, who didn't give who 15 million. I would just hope that, we don't make this a situation where people have then turned it into we don't politicize it, which is kind of what my concern is. We don't try to politicize it or make it a clout-chasing situation. But I'm very glad that there are people who are using their platforms and their voices, because the truth is, if we didn't have a number of the amount of people talking about it, I don't think that the police will have investigated it in the way that they are right now, because that Nigerians are watching, Nigerians home and abroad. There are peaceful walks being staged across the world. It's not just in Nigeria. It was on the Shade Room a few days ago. Chicago, I saw Chicago is doing a walk. The UK, they're doing a walk as well. Different parts of the world. I hear Canada, I'm not quite sure, but I heard Canada is organizing a walk as well. But,
yeah.
I mean, it was just very heartbreaking to see that video. No mother, I think the worst thing that can happen to any parent is to outlive their child, to watch their child die. And I can't imagine the pain that she's going through. I can't imagine the pain that the family is going through, and our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Yes, I agree. And it should not be politicized. But I mean, one sad aspect of it is the fact that, yes, I agree that it is the energy and it is the noise that has been made by everybody who, came, around for Mohbad that has made the police to wake up. But sadly, that doesn't mean that the police will do, it doesn't assure you as a Nigerian that the police will do a proper job, that they would find truth and they would find justice and they would be able to investigate properly. And because let's look back, at the last 500 cases that have happened. And, if we can point out one that we can say, oh, okay, this was a really popular case, and, we can see that one person has gone to jail because of their negligence here, because, they failed here, because, they committed a crime here. That's not one that you can point at. Not when kids have died in primary schools, because they went for excursions.
Or
not
those
when
who have
kids
died on the
electrocuted,
boats.
None, not even, Augusta. If you remember the young woman who was killed by her boyfriend, he confessed to killing and of course has fled Nigeria, the killer boy story. No, there's not one, so you can't look back and say, okay, well, the Lagos State Police Command is really, really good at investigating these things, and one day, set foot on ground, they will find, justice. Sadly, we don't have that. Again, I feel bad, because of what it has almost seemingly been turned into, and how people have taken advantage of his death. And, like I said, the show of shame that has, occurred in the days and weeks and months, not months, I'm sorry, in the days and maybe even weeks, that have surrounded the whole Mohbad situation. Yesterday, of course, there was another very, very, embarrassing situation at the Lekki toll gate where, I mean, people would have called them protesters, but they weren't protesters. People went for, a candlelight procession, peaceful walk at the Lekki toll gate, were eventually chased out by the Lagos State Police Command with tear gas canisters. There's arguments, about, back and forth, about why that happened and why it should not have happened, and how that's not the police command that you expect to give you justice, the one that chases you out with tear gas, even when you're being, you're not being violent and you're not protesting. I get it, but I think there's also the argument that, there wasn't really any need for people to be there. Yes, there's the right to, and freedom of assembly in the Nigerian Constitution, and everyone has that right. I 100% agree. But we should also understand that the Lekki toll gate is a very, very sensitive spot, mostly because of what happened at the NSAS protest, and then secondly, because there's hundreds of thousands of cars passing through that toll gate every day, to and from work, every single day. And so, yes, it is okay that people had their procession. I think there was one at the Muri Okwonla Park, and I've never known how to pronounce that name. There was one there, and of course, people then stayed back at the toll gate, which may have caused some vehicular traffic. And the Lagos State Police needed to find a way to disperse that crowd, so cars could move and people could get home. I have no idea if this is what it is, but I'm going to assume that this is what played out. I also would understand, or would remind everyone that the Lagos State Police has not been known to have proper crowd control tactics. They are not trained to control any crowd. They are not trained to have any interest in controlling the crowd. They do not care that much about being professional with, the way that they handle these things. So I feel like it was unnecessary, that there was that clash. And of course, everybody who got injured there didn't need to get injured. They could have understood each other. The police could have understood the peaceful walk. And those, of course, who were out could have also understood the views of the police. If, of course, it was simply to clear the toll gate so that vehicles could pass. Of course, I feel bad. But
I have goosebumps watching this video, like my skin. You can see the goosebumps everywhere, because look at the crowd. The only other time we've ever had this amount of people show up is at the NSAS protest.
Great.
I wish that this young man was alive to see just how much love he had, because from what we gather, for the most part of his career, he kept doubting and second-guessing himself, wondering if he was liked, if he was loved. But look at the crowd that's showing up for him.
In death. Posthumously, sadly.
Just very sad. But the highlight, or the positive angle, because I'd like to always see the positive to every story. And the positive in this story is that we have never seen a thing like this in Nigeria. And I hope we will never see a thing like this again, because we do not want a repeat incident. But he would die he would die a hero. His death would become something that would be used to, it would cause a change. It would not just be an everyday regular death. It has sparked a movement. It has sparked outrage. It has sparked a movement. And I do hope that we will get justice, and then this will set a precedence going forward for how things are done in the entertainment industry.
I think...
Although he didn't need to die for that.
I think the numbers, 100% he didn't need to. I think the numbers of people that you're seeing out there, you know, a lot of them are motivated by a guilty conscience. Not everybody, but a lot of them, a sizable amount of them, mostly because they feel like they failed Mohbad in the time that he was alive when he was crying out. There's that part, you know, where they imagine that in the times when he cried out for help, wrote petitions to the police, shared videos of how he was being bullied and he was being abused physically, which, you know, Nigerians should have stood up for him, but they didn't.
We're vibing to the lyrics. He was pouring his pain
exactly
in his songs, and we're vibing to the lyrics.
There's that part. There's also the part where I feel like as a people, we should be able to decide what stays and what is completely kicked out of our societies and our communities. If we know that there are certain vices, certain personalities, certain individuals that are bad, negative for our societies, we should somehow, some way be able to chase them out of town. And I'm not saying physically or violently, but Nigerians should be able to take a stand against what, you know, they do not want. And that includes bad record label owners and, of course, abuse of, you know, fellow citizens. These are some of the things that I feel are showing here.